firstly, for having me. Delivery at Speed. I know we've become a household name, a very cool logistics courier company with a twist, and we call ourselves the township specialists as well. From my perspective, I mean, it's similar to Khodi's story, but then I think we all know the background. We started off in 2021, bicycles, and at that time it was strictly a food delivery business. So Khodi and I come from the same township, actually. So we're both from Hammanskraal, and often, and I faced the same problem as well. We'd go back home, you know, I was in UP, and when you go back home, Uber Eats is not there, you know. You can't just order your little McFeast, you know, and chill. And so we were solving that problem because there was a mall opened. I think when we were still in high school, there was a mall opened. So we have the restaurants. We just don't have that delivery service, you know. And why? Why when we come home must our lifestyles change? And so we started that, and then we bought bicycles, literally bicycles, and, you know, full circle where we are today with trucks and vans coming from bicycles. It's so interesting. And so we solved that problem. And after 6 months, we hit 1 million rands in revenue. And then we started realizing that this WhatsApp thing is not working. Hey, we need to invest in tech. And so we did that. Then we pivoted. We made a pivot last year in October because the cost of executing a food delivery business is very high. Like, the margins are very low. And I mean, for instance, you'll see Bolt Food had to shut down in both South Africa and Nigeria because the margins are so low. You're fighting with the merchants, the restaurants, and we pay full price when we get to the restaurant. So if you order a meal, we have to pay for the meal. So whether or not in transit something happens with the drivers, or if the end user, you decide, I don't want this anymore, or if you decide to say, I never received my food, I want a refund, we've still bought it. So we'll refund you, but we've still paid the money. The money's gone. So the risk was high, the margins were very low, and though we were killing it in terms of revenue, it wasn't a sustainable business, you know. But we had already formed like good solid partnerships with your Spar to use, your Big Saves, your Bidvest Waltons, where we were moving, but very small volumes via courier and logistics. So we had already had our foot in the door in terms of courier and logistics. So we said, you know what, this makes more sense. This is more viable. Let's completely pivot. Let's completely switch off the food delivery business. It's not serving us, you know. And for us, our ethos as a company is to be impactful, to empower, to create opportunities. And at that rate, we weren't going to empower very much and create a very lasting impact. And so we made the pivot to strictly logistics and courier. This happened in October last year. So we cut out the food, logistics and courier, and after 2 months of operating in our new business, we broke even and are very profitable now. It's so crazy, you know. I think the past 4 months were also somehow on autopilot because we can't believe the rapid growth, the rate at how things are moving, the rate at how we're growing. I mean, 5 months ago, we didn't have what we have now. 4 months ago, we didn't have what we had now. And so it's just been hard work, and a clear focus on technology. We had to now brand ourselves as, guys, we need to put tech at the forefront. You know, we're an e-commerce, tech-driven logistics and courier company. Let's invest in this. It's going to yield great success. And, you know, the thing about tech is that it's expensive, right? And so taking out that money coming from a business where we weren't making margins, it was such a painful investment to make, but making it was so worth it, you know? Yeah, very strategic. And I also like the fact that we weren't reactive in making a fast pivot. We had to assess, be on the ground, see what the market is saying, see what gaps we can fill, assess really the viability and do due diligence. And we did. And it was a strategic move, very sober-minded. And I mean, none of us are over 30 at DKS. So it's quite crazy that, you know, we make such sound and strategic moves. Yeah. Yeah. So Western Cape is actually our fourth province. We just didn't announce others like we did because we grew rapidly inland. And so when we went coastal, now it's a big thing for us as well. That's why we made the big announcement. So we, before Western Cape, are in Gauteng, Limpopo, and the Northwest. So we first had to, before we even expanded to those areas, we perfected what was happening in Gauteng, the Joburg warehouse. We've got 2 warehouses in Joburg, actually. We started off with 1 in Feb, and by March, it was full to capacity. We couldn't, so we had to move. But we perfected what we did in Gauteng, moved to Limpopo, moved to the Northwest. But Western Cape, as you said, it's a whole different ballgame altogether. So one, the townships are, I mean, Khuri made a joke the other day at Capitec that we're doing so well in Cape Town because the citizens know we'll meet you at the police station, hey? We'll meet you at the police station, at a nearby landmark, at a nearby mall. And then there are areas that obviously it's the more affluent areas. And you know, the townships, as you said, they really vary. Yeah. They are the not so safe townships, and we have the medium ones. So what we did is we were on the ground. One of our executives, actually head of operations, Aviwe, is from Cape Town, from Khayelitsha. So we had a foot in the door because she's familiar. She grew up there, right? And so we went and we walked with her and we spoke Xhosa. These kids from Pretoria with just one Xhosa babe, you know, and just me and Jabulela, you know, just me and Nkosi, you know. And so we literally were on the ground. There was a time when we even said, guys, let's go eat in the hood. Let's go to Gugulethu and go to Chisanyama. Let's immerse ourselves in those townships and stuff like that. So we had to do a lot of on the ground research. What makes sense? What kind of people are we looking to hire? You know, even in terms of assets, are we deploying branded assets? Is it safe? You know, political influencers, like who must we speak to? And just perfecting, making sure that the infrastructure that we've built, the tech that we've built, we can replicate it in Cape Town and tailor-made to the situation in Cape Town. And lastly, just we considered the fact that we're moving with most of our Gauteng clients. They already wanted to expand with us, so they were just waiting for us to press play. So those are the factors that influenced us eventually saying Western Cape. So our move to Cape Town was strictly based on who are we going with into Cape Town. So firstly, we ran POCs, right? So we'll sit and say, where can we expand to next? We check our clients' national footprint, the current ones that we have in Gauteng. And so we do Shein, Temu, Alibaba, and they so badly wanted us to go to Cape Town because our traditional careers don't want to go to the townships, as I said, right? They didn't even want to take that risk. So that opportunity came about, and so we're like, okay, cool. We're moving with Shein, Temu, Alibaba, AliExpress. Who else wants to join? So we went back to sales and said, check all your clients. Who else wants to join? And so from now, what we're doing is just targeting e-commerce businesses that already have established a base in Cape Town and pitching to them. But we also have received quite a few requests from your Aramaxes, your Internet Express, other couriers, which we, even in Joburg and Limpopo and Northwest, do deliveries for as well. So where there's townships, the volumes comes to us, you know, with all of them. Yeah, so we're targeting e-commerce and logistics companies, also township-based, plazas, and all of those, yeah. I think tech plays a very pivotal, a very imperative, I think it's the backbone of our business. We have a system called Toucan that we've tailor-made. So there is an existing, it's a white label system, but we then went and integrated it into our different CRM systems and all of that. And that helps us track things like delivery, rates of deliveries, customer success, helps customers also track, gives them ease of mind, you know. So tech has played a very vital role in our business. Also just gathering data to analyze the trends and so that we can make better decisions, you know, moving forward. So yeah, we really have invested in tech. Like I said, we didn't have tech when we launched the business, and we deployed tech. It crashed because there was too much traffic, but this was in food. Right, a great problem. But there was a vast difference in food delivery systems and softwares as opposed to logistics and courier. Yeah. But I won't lie and say we knew it all. We didn't know it all. We started by manually doing things. But the beauty of us is we believe in collaboration. So even the people who think they are competitors, we'd go to them and be like, hey, what are you using? What are you doing differently? And so we do those kind of site visits. And now we're heavily invested in the tech. We're heavily reliant on our tech. And it helps customers as well, because you don't have to be on the phone with us all the time. You can just check, okay, Sikha is my driver for today, 30 minutes away, so yeah. Yes. And they are really present. But I think the difference about us, they're very present, And sometimes it can be intimidating, but we had to also learn to just focus on our own lane here. So once again, the what we replicated from all our regions and all our warehouses is impact and immersing ourselves and hiring locals and showing the communities that we care, building organic trust and which is why we always laugh and say, people say in the townships, they get hijacked. Like other courier companies, we have never, because we immerse ourselves in the townships. We hire drivers from where we deliver, So we actually do recruitment drives from there. We become a household brand in the community. The community knows that DKS has our backs, Not that one. Yeah. Yeah. No, that one, no, guys, Yeah, this one, So, and every month we give back. So yesterday, actually, we run a monthly CSI program where we give away to 3 NGOs about 100 or 200 food parcels or winter parcels or whatever it is per 3 NGOs. And so yesterday the team went to Soweto. Last month we're in Alex. Next month we're in Tembisa. So we give back into the communities that we serve in. So it's building organic trust. They also know that our livelihoods depend on the success of DKS. So that's why we've done pretty well in what we do. If we decide, so our next expansion is KZN. You heard it here first. So we don't pick and choose. If you're giving us, I don't know where, Dundee, what are the villages and townships in KZN? Yeah. Then we're going there. We don't pick and choose. We like to just make sure that if we're in KZN, we base our warehouses in close proximity to where we're delivering. Like our hub must be near to the places where our clients have presence in. So even in Limpopo, we've got 2. We've got one close to Venda and we've got one in Polokwane CBD. Yeah, so we just, the rollout in terms of warehousing is just making sure that we are in close proximity to where our client wants us to deliver, so that it's not a problem for like late deliveries or anything like that. But we don't pick and choose really. So I think the first teams always that goes when we're expanding is the exco. So we go, and for the first 2 months we're running the show alone. And so, because we have a competent team in other areas that we've established, so they don't really need as much there. So when we expand, we'll go, and after a month, we see more or less the volumes, the demand, and that's when we start the recruitment process. Sometimes we're drivers, sometimes we're cleaners, and this includes the CEO as well, So for the first month, we do everything. We run the show, because also by the time we recruit, we want them to come into an established warehouse where there are clear SOPs. We also know how everything functions in that area or in that region, and we know because we went through it. So you can't tell us anything about it. So so for the first month, we're the ones that run the show. Only thereafter will we deploy vehicles and assets and human resources and all of those. that we'd repeat, I think always having a community-centric approach. Definitely, I think that has worked really well for us. One that we'd never do again. Proper planning. So when we moved out of Gauteng to Limpopo, we hadn't exactly perfected the model, the logistics and career model, and we hadn't formed reliable partnerships, local partnerships. We weren't going out with the right partner. So I think it was a bit of a mess. I just think proper planning, thorough planning, forming great partnerships, strategic partnerships to ensure that, the rollout is smooth. And just focusing in our own lane, not looking at what this person is doing in the area. Yeah, because I think we in the beginning stages, we often looked at what the next person is doing. And I mean, Korea guys old. We're very young, we're barely a year in our new business. So we just had to learn to focus on our own lane. Hudi calls it focus on your grade. If you're in grade 7, focus on grade 7. Don't think about matric dance and what's going to happen there. Just focus on your own lane. So, yeah. Wow, so important. I think timeouts is so important. So we often take timeouts from the office, from interacting, from engaging, because as I said, we're not reactive. So we really need to think things through, formulate strategies, and not always be reactive in our decisions. So I think that's really kept me sane. Work-life balance. Funny enough, I don't think we have it, but we try. We've become our own family. So, work is family and work. So, but we often take breaks. So I think that has helped us keep sane. And what else? Journaling, podcasts, reading. Yeah, we read a lot. We vent a lot. Yeah. I think clarity in everything that we do, clarity in our objectives, clarity in our goals, clarity in our strategy. Look, one thing we know is that we're going to be the biggest Korean logistics company in SADC, and in this continent, will we get there? It's not certain, but we might. But one thing is we're clear about our objectives. We're actively working on how to get there. We don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will worry for itself. But today we're very clear about what the mandate is. So we've established clarity throughout the organization. Everyone is very aligned on what the objectives, the goals of the business are, where we want to take the business. So I think just being clear, just being aligned with your entire team, moving towards one common goal. So I think that's really helped us in our business. Yeah.